Let me start with the truck that depreciates, like it insulted somebody. The Ram 1500 is the softest riding full-size pickup you can buy, and for a senior with a spine that's done its time, that matters more than any spec sheet. It's the only one in this class with coil springs in the rear instead of leaf springs, so it soaks up potholes like a Buick. A buddy of mine, semi-retired electrician, called me last year in a panic because a dealer quoted him $34,000 for a lightly used truck. I told him to hang up and go find a 2016 Ram 1500 Bighorn with the 5.7-liter Hemi. He got one with 78,000 miles for a hair under $19,000. Same truck the dealer wanted $34,000 for, essentially just wearing a different badge and a couple years of depreciation. He's put maybe $600 into it since, and half of that was tires. Here's the mechanic's honest take. The 5.7-liter Hemi is a stout engine that will go 250,000 to 300,000 miles, and plenty go further. It makes 395 horsepower, tows anything a retiree would ever need, and parts are everywhere because Chrysler built millions of them. But it has two quirks you need to know about. First, the Hemi tick, a ticking noise that is usually exhaust manifold bolts, or, less often, a lifter. Second, the MDS cylinder deactivation system can eventually chew up a lifter if the oil changes were neglected. So here's your inspection checklist. Cold started in the parking lot before the owner warms it up. A healthy Hemi ticks a little on cold start and quiets down. A loud, persistent tick that won't go away means walk. Pull the oil cap and look for sludge. A clean Hemi was an oil-changed Hemi. And check the dashboard for the digital odometer. Rams love to eat interior electronics, so make sure every window, every seat motor, and the touchscreen actually work before you sign. Who should buy it? Anyone who values ride comfort over everything and wants a lot of truck for very little money. Who should skip it? If you're a change the oil when I remember type, the Hemi's MDS system will punish you. This truck rewards discipline. Give it that, and it'll give you a decade back. Number 6. Chevrolet Silverado 1500 5.3-liter V8. Number 6 is the truck that's so common, so ordinary, that people forget it's one of the cheapest vehicles on earth to keep running. The Silverado 1500 with the 5.3-liter V8 is the beige carpet of the pickup world. Nobody notices it, and that's exactly why it's a bargain. I had a customer, a retired school teacher, terrified her old sedan would die on her. She wanted something simple. I found her a 2015 Silverado 1500 LT with 90,000 miles for $17,500. 2 years later, she came back for a routine service and asked what needed doing. Brake pads, that was it. She had driven it 40,000 miles on nothing but oil. The reason the 5.3 is a mechanic's dream is that it's a small block Chevy, a design that's been refined for decades. Any parts store in America stocks everything for it, and any shop in a 100-mile radius can work on it blindfolded. That's a real advantage when you are 70 and do not want to ship your truck to a specialist. But I'll give you the truth, the salesman won't. The 5.3-liter has one Achilles heel. On certain years, the active fuel management system, the tech that shuts off cylinders to save gas, can burn oil and, in the worst cases, kill a lifter. So here's what you do. Check the oil level on the dipstick and ask when it was last topped up. If a Silverado is a quart low between changes, that's the active fuel management system telling on itself. Listen for a lifter tick at idle. And peek underneath at the frame. Older Silverados can rust at the rear crossmember, so if you are in a salt state, get underneath before you buy. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants dead simple ownership and cheap as dirt parts. Who should skip it? If you want the last word in refinement, this isn't it. It is a work truck at heart. But a well-kept 5.3-liter will see 300,000 miles without ever surprising you, and that's the whole point. Number 5. Ford F-150 5-liter Coyote V8. You can't talk about trucks that go the distance without the best-selling vehicle in America, but here's the catch. You have to pick the right engine, and most people don't. Skip the twin-turbo EcoBoost. I know it's fast, I know it's popular, but turbos add complexity, and complexity is the enemy of a 400,000-mile truck on a budget. The engine you want is the 5-liter Coyote V8. It's naturally aspirated, it makes 360 honest horsepower, and it's built like an anvil. A retired contractor came into my bay, convinced his 2014 F-150 was on its last legs at 210,000 miles. I put it on the lift, went through the whole thing, and told him the truck had another 150,000 in it, easy. He looked at me like I'd told him he won the lottery. That Coyote had the original everything. The genius move Ford made in 2015 was switching the body to aluminum. Steel truck beds rust from the inside out. Aluminum simply does not. For a senior who plans to keep a truck 15 years, that is the difference between a solid tailgate and a lace doily. Inspection tips. On the 5.0 from 2011 to 2017, listen for a cam phaser rattle on cold start, a brief metallic clatter for a second or two when you first fire it up. A quick rattle is common. A loud, sustained one means budget for repair. Check the oil for any milkshake color that would suggest coolant intrusion. And run every button. Ford's sync screens can get glitchy, and a replacement is not free. Who should buy it? Someone who wants a V8 that any of the other 40 million F-150 owners' mechanics already know, cold. Who should skip it? If you are tempted by the EcoBoost's power, understand you are trading long-term simplicity for short-term thrill. For 400,000 trouble-free miles, the 5.0 is the answer. Number 4. Honda Ridgeline. Now for the one that truck purists love to hate, and the one I recommend to more seniors than any other on this half of the list. The Honda Ridgeline isn't a real truck to the guys at the coffee shop, but it's the most comfortable, most car-like, easiest to live with pickup you can own. And for an older driver, that's not a weakness, it's the whole selling point. The Ridgeline is built on Honda's minivan and SUV bones, which means it drives like a pilot, rides like a sedan, and has a rock-solid 3.5-liter V6 that Honda has been perfecting for decades. It gets into the garage easily, it's quiet on the highway, and the bed even has a trunk built into the floor. I sold my own mother on one. She's 68, she hauls mulch and grandkids, and she was scared of climbing up into a big lifted truck. The Ridgeline sits low, the doors open wide, and she gets in and out without a grimace. 2 years, 0 problems, and she brags about it to her whole bridge club. The honest caveat: some Ridgelines with the cylinder deactivation system can develop minor oil consumption or a rough idle if maintenance slipped, and Honda's automatic transmissions like fresh fluid, so change it on schedule. When you inspect one, warm it up and make sure it idles smooth. Check that the sliding rear window and bed trunk seal don't leak, and confirm the timing was maintained. Who should buy it? Any senior who prioritizes comfort, ease of entry, and drama-free reliability over towing a fifth wheel. Who should skip it? If you need to tow heavy or go rock crawling, look elsewhere. For everyone else who just wants a truck that treats their body kindly and runs to 300,000 miles, this is a quiet genius. Real quick, if this kind of straight talk is saving you from a bad decision, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I've got more videos coming on the exact trucks dealers push versus the ones that actually make sense for people on a fixed income. Now let's get to the top 3 because this is where it gets serious. Number 3, Toyota Tundra 4.7-liter and early 5.7-liter I-Force 5 8. Number 3 is the truck that broke the internet by hitting 1 million miles on its original engine. Not a typo. A Tundra with over 1 million miles, original block, and Toyota was so impressed they took it back and put it in a museum. The Tundra is the full-size truck that laughs at the odometer. If you want the simplest, most bulletproof version, hunt down an early one with the 4.7-liter V8, an engine so overbuilt it feels like it was designed for a tank. If you want more muscle, the 5.7-liter I-Force from 2007 onward is the one that hit those legendary mileage numbers. I've personally had 2 Tundras through my shop north of 300,000 miles with original transmissions. Not rebuilt, original. A retired rancher brought me one at 340,000 and asked if it was time to worry. I told him to come back at $500,000. Here's the mechanic math. The 5.7 is a timing chain engine, so there's no expensive belt to replace. The 4.7, if you go that route, uses a timing belt that needs changing around every 90,000 miles. Budget roughly $600 for that, and then forget about it. Both engines are naturally aspirated, so there's no turbo waiting to fail and no exotic parts to source. Inspection checklist. On the first-generation trucks, get underneath and inspect the frame for rust, because Toyota had a frame corrosion issue on early Tundras and did buybacks, so make sure any recall work was done. On the 5.7, listen for a tick that could be a cam tower oil leak or the secondary air injection pump on cold mornings. It's fixable, but negotiate. And check the exhaust manifolds for cracks, which shows up as a ticking that fades as it warms. Who should buy it? Someone who wants a full-size truck they will literally never wear out and who doesn't mind that it drinks fuel. Who should skip it? If gas mileage is your top concern, the Tundra is thirsty and it trades economy for immortality. But if your goal is to buy one truck and be buried with it, this is that truck. Number 2, Toyota Tacoma 4.0-liter V6. If the Tundra is the full-size legend, the Tacoma is the mid-size king, and it earns its number 2 spot on pure, stubborn reliability. The 4.0-liter V6 in the 2005 to 2015. Tacoma is one of the most durable engines Toyota ever put in a truck. 236 horsepower, timing chain, no turbo, no drama. Now I'll be straight with you, because a good mechanic always is. The Tacoma is the exception to the poor man's rule. These things hold their value so aggressively that a clean used one costs more than you'd expect. A Tacoma depreciates only about 22% over 5 years, which is almost unheard of. That's the market telling you something. People who own them refuse to sell them. But here's why it still belongs on this list. When you buy a Tacoma, you're not paying for a truck, you're paying for the last truck you'll ever need. A customer of mine, a 74-year-old widower, bought a 2011 Tacoma with 95,000 miles for what felt like too much money at the time. That was 6 years and 120,000 miles ago. Total repair spend? Under $900. He tells me it was the cheapest expensive truck he ever bought, and he's right. Inspection is critical on these because they're desirable enough that people hide problems. First, the frame. Toyota had a rust recall on Tacomas from 2005 to 2010 and bought back a lot of them. Get underneath and confirm the frame is solid and any recall was honored. Second, check the lower ball joints and listen for a clunk over bumps. Third, and this is the pro move, find one owned by an older person who used it for weekend runs to the hardware store. A retiree-owned Tacoma with low miles is basically a time capsule. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants a right-sized truck that will run to 400,000 miles, and still be worth real money when they're done with it. Who should skip it? If your budget is rock bottom today, the Tacoma's high used price might sting up front. But dollar for dollar over 300,000 miles, almost nothing beats it, which brings me to the one truck that actually does, on price. Number 1, Nissan Frontier 4.0-liter VQ4E DE V6. Here's the truck I recommend more than any other to seniors on a fixed income, and almost every one of them says the same thing my uncle did. A Nissan? Really? Yes, really. The Nissan Frontier with the 4.0-liter VQ40 engine was independently ranked the most reliable midsize pickup of the last decade, and the market has no idea, which is exactly why it's the best-kept secret on four wheels. Let me tell you why I put it at number 1. Nissan built the second-generation Frontier from 2005 all the way to 2021 with barely a change because they got it right the first time. The 4.0-liter VQ40 engine makes 261 horsepower and 281 pound-feet. It's naturally aspirated, timing chain-driven, and it's the same rugged V6 family Nissan has been building since the 90s. By the time you get to the later years, they had ironed out every kink. The 2019 model earned an 87 out of 100 for quality and reliability with a single minor recall. Now here's the part that makes it number 1 instead of number 3. The Frontier depreciates harder than a Tacoma, which means you can buy the exact same reliability for thousands less. Where a comparable Tacoma might run you a premium, a clean Frontier sits on the lot ignored, cheaper, waiting for someone smart enough to notice. That's the whole thesis of this list: Toyota-grade durability at a discount, because the badge says Nissan. My uncle, the one from the start of this video, bought a 2015 Frontier SV with 82,000 miles for $14,500. That was 3 years ago. He's crossed 140,000 miles now. Total repairs, a set of tires, a battery, and one oil pressure sensor that cost him about $120. His exact words to me last month were, "Why does nobody talk about this truck? That's why I'm making this video. But I'm going to give you the honest inspection checklist because the Frontier does have known issues, and a good mechanic never hides them. First, and this is the big one, the radiator. On 2005 to 2010 models, the transmission cooler is built into the radiator, and if it fails internally, coolant mixes into the transmission fluid and turns it into what mechanics call a strawberry milkshake. That can destroy an automatic. So pull the transmission dipstick, look at the fluid color, and if it's pink, milky, or smells burnt, walk away and don't look back. On any Frontier, if the radiator is original on a high-mileage truck, budget to replace it preventively. It's cheap insurance. Second, the timing chain tensioners on the earliest 2005 to 2010 engines could wear. Listen for a rattle at cold start. Later trucks fix this. Third, these engines sip a little oil as they age, so check the level and keep it topped. It's normal, not a death sentence. Fourth, cam and crank position sensors occasionally fail, but they're a cheap, quick fix, so a check engine light for one isn't a reason to panic. Who should buy it? This is the truck for the retiree who wants maximum reliability for minimum money and doesn't care what the neighbors think. It's simple, it's tough, parts are affordable, and any shop can work on it. Who should skip it? If you want a plush interior or the latest tech, the Frontier is Spartan. It's a tool, not a lounge. And if resale in 3 years matters to you, the Tacoma holds value better. But if your plan is to buy a truck and drive it until the wheels fall off, which, with this one, will be somewhere north of 300,000 miles, the Frontier is the smartest dollar-per-mile play in the entire truck market. If I had to hand a set of keys to my own father tomorrow, tell him it had to last the rest of his life, and do it without draining his savings, I'd hand him a Frontier and not lose a minute of sleep. So there it is, 7 trucks the market forgot, but mechanics quietly trust. The soft-riding Ram 1500 that depreciates into a bargain. The dead, simple Silverado with parts on every shelf in America. The aluminum-bodied F-150 with the bulletproof Coyote V8. The comfortable, senior-friendly Ridgeline. The immortal Tundra that hit 1 million miles. The value-holding Tacoma King. And the #1 sleeper of them all, the Nissan Frontier, the most reliable mid-sized truck of the decade that nobody's talking about. Every one of these can carry you to 400,000 miles on oil, filters, and a little care. Next time a salesman tries to steer you toward a shiny turbocharged lease return, you'll know better. Take care of one of these, and it will take care of you, for a lot longer and a lot cheaper than anyone at that dealership wants you to believe. If this helped, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep giving you the truth the dealerships won't. Drive safe out there. I'll see you in the next one.